Hello friends, Eli here, back for actually a response video to Matt from the Dark Path. Did a video where he was talking about his favorite EPs, and that's actually a video that I've been wanting to do, for a long time myself. So now I feel like now is the no better time than now. So, anyways, I went through my collection. I didn't really have easy access to all my collection at the moment, so I'm probably leaving some stuff out, but it still wasn't hard for me to grab. I got 15 EPs here. In fact, I grabbed like 40 of them, and I had to I totally dwindled it down, but yeah, it'll be fun. So here we go. By the way, we're listening to, in the background, the debut full-length by Terra Rama, Horrid Face, or whatever. Yeah, this came out in 2004 on this specific version came out on I think it was Misanthropic Propaganda Productions. Nuclear War now put out the CD, and they've put out some of their other stuff too. Basically, what you're hearing is they're kind of a black thrash death type band, and they do it really fucking well. I had never heard this until today, but I've heard their second full length back when it came out and thought it was pretty awesome. So yeah, if you like what you hear, I got copies of this in my distro. I can get you one for cheap. And let's go with the EPs. I think I got 15 of them. I didn't intentionally get 15. That's just kind of what I dwindled it down to. They're not really in order, like from least favorite to favorite, but the top few kind of are, but the rest of them aren't really. I don't know. Anyways, we have Orkblut, the Retaliation from Abigor, Austrian black metal. This is not the best. It's not the best version as far as cover art, but this came out on Division Nordwolf, which was an Austrian label. It might have been ran by one of the Abigor guys, because all this label did was put out a couple Abigor albums. The inside looks like. I used to have these in my distro. I think I'm sold out of this one, but I do have a couple other Abigor tapes if anyone's interested. Another shameless plug, sorry. But anyways, yeah, man. I don't remember the year this came out, but it is some of my favorite Abigor material. Kind of pagany, a little bit folky sounding. Great stuff, man. Great stuff from a great band. Yeah, then we got this EP from Forgotten Woods. This is a repressed version from Dismal Cursings, label out of California. Got a pretty simple pro tape there. Yeah, I think this label's out of California. I could be wrong. I think I'm thinking about a different label, but anyway, that's the label. And they did a pretty good job on this re-release here. Very bleak looking, like it should. Yeah, man. If you don't know Forgotten Woods, they are actually one of my favorite Norwegian black metal bands. They weren't quite there early on, like when, Burzum and Mayhem and, when all that stuff was happening, but they did just kind of slide in a little bit later, more towards the mid-90s, but, they have a phenomenal body of work. If you like, depressive black metal on the, kind of more on the old school side, not like the one-man bedroom black metal type stuff. Well, I do like some of that, but this is more along the lines of like Burzum, early Burzum. If you like that, this should be right up your alley. Next we have, this is something I only acquired this year, but it is kind of one of my favorite CDs in my collection, to be honest. It's quite the grail for me, anyways. Got Ara Noir with Dreams Like Deserts. This is the first thing they ever did that wasn't, like a demo. This came out on Hot Records. This is an original pressing, Hot Records. Hot Records was a label ran by Shagrith of Dimmu Borgir. I've been trying to track down all the Hot Records stuff, but a lot of it goes for pretty high prices. So I only have like two of the releases, but yeah, man. Just Norwegian black thrash institution at this point. They are one of the greats, and everything they do is spot on. I recommend their entire discography. Next, this is an oldie for me. I've had this one a long time. This was my introduction to this band, so I have kind of always preferred this to almost everything else that they've done. In fact, this is probably my favorite release of theirs, but Terminal Spirit Disease by At the Gates. This came out on Peaceville back in '94. It's a fairly short EP. It's got like 3 live tracks tacked onto the back of it. I don't usually listen to those, but they're good live tracks. Yeah, man. Just great stuff. This came out before Slaughter of the Soul, so they weren't really doing the thrash thing yet. It was just pure, pure melodic death metal. Just the way you would want it. I can't, that's the only way I can describe it. Whenever I think of melodic death metal that I would want to listen to, or that I would prefer it to sound like, this is always the album that comes to mind. Just instantly. Any melodic death metal I instantly compare to this, and it usually falls short. Usually, most melodic death metal I've heard, never quite as good as this. I know Pat, Ground Zero Salem, showed this in his video, but I could not, because this is definitely one of my favorite EPs as well. Necrology by General Surgery. This is a repress digipack on Relapse Records, so it's got a bunch of bonus tracks. I don't remember where the bonus tracks come from, but oh man, where to start? It's just early Swedish, gore grind, basically. Super gurgly, pitch shifted vocals. Super nasty. This thing is just like basically, first album Carcass Worship, basically. These guys would go on to do, a lot of other stuff. In fact, I think they're still active. I think they're still active to this day. They did, a handful of full lengths. Haven't really checked up on them in a while. I don't know what they've done in the last, 5 years or so, but I'll have to go check. But yeah, it's a great one. Here's another great one. This kind of belongs on anyone's list, I would think. Hellhammer, Apocalyptic Raids. How could you go wrong? This is some of my favorite Hellhammer stuff. It's got, everything on here has been covered by a million bands. Massacre, Triumph of Death, Horus Aggressor, Messiah, Revelations of Doom. It's completely classic. This one right here could easily be my, if I had a number 1 slot here, this could probably take it. To Kavirs by a Greek black metal band Kawir. I always said Kawir because I never really quite knew how to pronounce it. Kawir if you're not familiar. This came out I think in 96 or 97. Some of the best Greek black metal ever to be made. And what's cool about this band is they're one of the few bands I think that would actually go on to to release better material later in their career. These guys' more recent full lengths are actually, I think, their best work. So if you like, that old, 90s Greek black metal sound, and you haven't heard, this band, you got to get on it right now. It's phenomenal. And you can't go wrong with anything they've done, but honestly, you could start with some of their last full lengths and just kind of work your way back, and I think that would work for you. One of my favorite bands, one of my favorite EPs, obviously. We've got Mortician, Zombie Apocalypse. Came out on Relapse Records, and when did this come out? 98, I think. 10-song EP. It's Mortician. I can't really go into detail about them, but it's if you like Mortician, it's more of the same. This also came out on Relapse. Can't remember what year, but Incantation with had this a long time. But the Forsaken Morning of Angelic Anguish. This kind of marks the departure of Craig Pillard. This would be the last thing he would do with them, and it's great material. They actually have him credited as a session vocalist on this, so I guess I guess he'd already departed, is my guess. I don't know the entire history. It's got 8 tracks, or 7 tracks, and then it's got 4 bonus tracks. One of them being a death cover. What song did they cover? I don't remember. Anyways, move on to the next. We got Moon Sorrow with the Tulamirsky EP. This came out back in... I don't remember. Came out some years back on Spine Farm Records. I really love this one. This I think is got some cool cover art, courtesy of Chris Verwimp. We all should be familiar with him. Yeah, it's got a nice. This would be a cool poster of the Viking battle scene. Nothing real unique by any means, but I just like Chris's artwork. Anyways, what you get on here is you only get one regular track. I think it's like 25 minutes long, and it is fucking great. I think the one track I think stands easily with the best of their work. You know, it can go toe to toe with anything they've done, and then it's got a bunch of covers. It's got a Metallica cover, which is kind of strange. For Whom the Bell Tolls. They cover Back to North by Merciless, and then it's got 2 other covers. God damn, I don't remember. I want to say they're black metal covers, but I don't remember. Okay, no. I take that back. They're not black metal covers. I think they are redone versions of their older songs. Actually, I think, but it's very black metal sounding. More black metal sounding than Moon Sorrow typically are. So they're really, really cool tracks. I wish I was a bigger expert on the history of them. But next, another heavy hitter. We got Cathedral, Soul Sacrifice. This came out right after their debut full length, and it still kind of has that. Feel. It's kind of a nice. This kind of bridges the gap between, the Force of Equilibrium, and then what they would do later on, which is more of like a doom rock kind of. I'm not too big on all of it. I like some of it, but a lot of it's hard for me to stomach. This kind of still has more aggressive vocals from Lee Dorian. And it's just a little bit more aggressive overall. It's a little meaner sounding than most of their kind of hippie-ish, sounding, proggy, psychedelic-y doom. This came out in '92 on Earache Records, of course. Yeah, it's an all-time classic. I fucking love it. Another one of my favorites. I don't know why I keep saying that. I mean, these are all my favorites, so I'll shut up on that. We got Deceased with Behind the Mourner's Veil. This is a great one. This came out on Relapse Records in 2001. And what you have here is it's got a bunch of covers, and then at the end, or no, not at the end. Is it at the end? Yeah, at the very end, you have some original Deceased material, which is it's one long song, split up into 5 parts. It's called Victims of the Master Plan, and it is written about the Westboro, not Westboro, god damn it. What are those fucking, that just threw me off, Westboro. Oh man, I can't remember now. The case of those kids who got pinned for murdering a bunch of other kids, in that some southern podunk town, and they ended up the Memphis, West Memphis 3. God damn, I'm stupid. So yeah, it's a great track. It's long and epic, and then if you like covers, which I do, Deceased, they're great at covering bands. You got there's like a DRI cover on here. There's an Anthrax cover, Tankard. It's fucking great. This is one that I don't see talked about a whole lot, but I highly recommend this. If you like Finnish, early Finnish black and death metal, you gotta go track this down. Belial, Wisdom of Darkness. This came out, I think, after their first full length. And by the way, on the back, goofiest band photo I think I've ever seen. Look at this shit. Yeah, I mean, it looks like out of a Skyrim scene or something. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? What are any of these guys doing? But anyways, I shouldn't have shown you that. Don't let that fool you. This is just a fucking gem. You know, if you like early Impaled Nazarene, early Demigod, I mean, this stuff is ace. And in fact, I would kind of describe it as that. Like, take early Demigod and early Impaled Nazarene, you know, put them together, and that's what you get with Belial. Fucking awesome stuff. I guess they would later go on to be like a punk band or something, or like a pop punk even, like something weird. They would, yeah, a lot of Finnish bands would kind of, you know, pull weird shit like that. I haven't heard that material though. I kind of don't really want to. We're getting close. We got 2 left, so these last 2 are, you know, very near and dear to my heart. We got Dead Can Dance with Garden of the Unearthly Delights. This is a recent repress, actually, from 2016 on 4AD Records. This one's got the original EP, and then it's got John Peel sessions tacked on to the end of it. So you get a lot of tracks instead of just you know, the short EP that it is. This is early Dead Can Dance. If I remember correctly, I think this came out before their first full length even. I apologize if I'm wrong about that, but this is way more kind of post-punky, you know, goth rock, you know, sounding stuff than, you know, what they would do later on. But man, it's great for what it is. It's got some of my favorite material they've ever done, actually. Like In Power We Entrust, The Love Advocated, The Arcane. Both those 2 tracks are just amazing stuff. Like I said, it definitely stands out in, you know, the Dead Can Dance discography, but it does a great job. And last but not least, we have, drum roll please, we got Danzig with Thrall, Demon Sweat Live. That epic cover art, I've always loved that. Man, yeah, this is a heavy hitter for me. I've listened to this so many times throughout the years. Always loved it. What you have here is, came out in 93, by the way, and this one would kind of be known for, actually, this was kind of the peak of Danzig's popularity, and it was, you know, this EP kind of sparked that, because they re-recorded Mother for this EP, and then you probably remember back in 93, you know, Mother was all over MTV, so I mean, that Danzig got a lot of publicity, you know, from this EP. But other than that, what we have is, we got 3 original tracks, which are great. You know, these 3 tracks, you know, go toe to toe with any of the, you know, the classic Danzig stuff. And then you have some live material from Irvine Meadows, California, you know, 92 on Halloween. That's kind of cool. 3 live tracks from that concert, and then you have, you know, the 93. They call it Mother 93. It's a, you know, re-recorded version of Mother. I don't know why they re-recorded it. I mean, if I remember correctly, it sounds exactly the same. Maybe the production's a little cleaner. This is my guess. I haven't actually listened to that version in quite a long time, but big Danzig fan, classic stuff. Yeah, man, go out and pick up all these if you don't have them. If you have any questions about these, you know, some of these that maybe I didn't go into, you know, enough detail, go ahead and ask away. And if you guys have heard any of these, and if any of these are, like, you know, your favorite EPs, let me know so we can talk about it. Anyways, I gotta go. Peace. Talk soon. Cheers.